Hi, Leo. Welcome to your weekly read. Let's take a look and see what's coming out for you. This will be midweek all the way until the end of the week, okay? So let's take a look. We're going to start with career, money, finance. We'll start with what Spirit wants you to know, as I typically do, and then get into career, money, finance, and then touch a little bit about love on what you need to be aware of regarding that. All right, let's go ahead and dive in and take a look and see what's going on with your energies. It's for your sun, moon, rising, Venus, as well as your north node, okay? All right, so what is going on for Leo? What do we've got going on for Leo? Guys, I hope all is well. If you are looking for a personal read, click the link in the description box below. And I think I've got my last day for the sale is right now. So if you are interested, do click that link below. I haven't had a sale in 3 months and it's 20% off. So catch it while you can, all right, and book it out where you see fit, all right. All right, so what is going on for Leo? What does Spirit want Leo to know most during this time? What wants to come out most? Let's take a look, okay. What do we've got here? Nice. Ooh, something about, it could be something having to do with your home, fast change and movement that's happening here, okay. But wow, you've got some beautiful cards here, guys, okay. Let's just take a look. All right, bottom of the deck, what have we got? The Page of Pentacles. This is really beautiful energy because this is talking about manifestation and being very much goal-oriented and being that planner of what it is that you want to create. So you're putting that into play. Now, it's a page, so it could be starting something new. You could be getting a message of an opportunity coming your way. And it's something that maybe it's something that you've been working on, right? And it's a new project, a new product, a new job, whatever this may be. It's starting out and being very goal-oriented, being very dependable and loyal, and manifesting while also being very ambitious, okay? I do get the King of Wands right behind it, which is a visionary entrepreneur. So some of you, it could be your own business, or you could be dealing with a fire sign, or this is you, okay? So you might be getting an opportunity that's coming your way as you focus on balancing things out with justice, okay? I think you're kind of at an impasse right now that you are kind of maybe deciding which way to go in something. So there's some big changes that are happening here, Leo, okay? What was really beautiful is you've got the leadership and taking that visionary approach to balance something out with this Libra energy. So you're really looking about what's going to bring balance to my life. What is going to balance this situation out? I'm taking leadership. I'm going for my dreams, but I'm trying to think what is going to bring in balance to the situation. Okay. So let's dive in and take a look at these cards and see what we've got here. So we've got some fast movement and change. So this could be news that's coming in. This could just be a sudden change that is happening, and it's happening fast, and it might have to do with your home life, all right? Four of Wands has to do with, it could be reunions and celebrations. This could be fast movement of a celebration or a reunion. So you could be meeting up with someone or others, okay, in some sort of reunion. It could be, focusing in on your stability. It could be excitement about some travel, change, and movement. Some of you could be traveling or making a change. I do get the Hierophant energy, which is Taurus energy, and that is knowledge sharing, traditional knowledge. Now, this could be you, and this could be focusing in on conformity, beliefs. This could also indicate marriage, okay? So there could be fast movement and change that comes in regarding home, perhaps about marriage, that could be coming into play. I do get that there's a sense of new vitality here. You got the Sun card, which is ruled, Leo. It's ruled by Leo, your sign. And so I feel that there's new vitality, but there is some sort of stability or obstruction regarding a reunion, a getting together, your stability, and you're going through some sort of spiritual healing with the Star card coming out. So this is, it is about success. It's a lot about optimism, confidence, happiness, being open, and, vitality. I just feel that there's just the thing in the middle here a little bit that is talking about, like, how am I going to bring balance to this situation or to the predicament that I find myself in? There's some obstacles there. We're going to pull some clarifiers to see what we can do in terms of that, but let's take a look and see what this looks like for you here. Okay, so what do we get? What is the obstacle on this Four of Wands here? So we got the Four of Wands and the Five of Wands. Okay, so let's check out the Five of Wands. What's the obstacle? This is about no more putting emotions into something and going towards your Ten of Cups. Look at, you got the Star card, which comes in right after here. So there is new inspiration. There's a renewal here. There's some sort of renewal about your home and about some sort of obstacle from the past. And it's something that I think that you've been manifesting, okay? Magician energy, Gemini energy, could be Virgo as well, but this is really focusing in on using your power, using your intellect, using your skill, logic, and your manifestation abilities, you know, again, with the Hierophant energy, is I feel that you're going through some sort of renewal here, some sort of spiritual awakening about something, all right? And it's beautiful. You got some major arcana here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them coming through. And well, 5, counting the Star coming out twice. But it's the importance here being, you know, with the Star coming out twice, is that it's contentment. It's reaching that. You've reached a situation where it reaches a point of contentment. And this could be within yourself. But I do feel that you were learning some sort of life lesson and bringing something into balance here. Okay. Give me a card on this Four of Wands real quick. What Spirit wants you to know most? Hermit energy. Man. Yeah, you get another major arcana here. Going within, it has to do with something about past memory and past lives. And I almost feel like a fusion of you becoming whole. And I almost feel it's like something from the past of childhood, because this is coming up here with the Six of Cups. And, you know, it does, yes, it's memories, it's innocence and nostalgia, what comfort, healing memories. You're just going within, like, what makes you comfortable at your home, what brings stability to you, and how to overcome those obstacles. Okay. What do I get? Think about your thoughts and actions. Think about if your thoughts or actions and routines are inconsistent. Does it serve you on a daily basis? So have you been being consistent or inconsistent? I feel that if you've been feeling that you've been inconsistent in anything, whatever that is, and you know what that is for you, ask yourself, does it serve you well on a daily basis? So this is saying put in the consistency to see the change. I think it's something that you're seeing here, because with this, you know, King of Wands and prosperity, he's looking to, like, what's going to bring him balance. Well, consistency could be one of them. Okay. So just kind of look at that. That's going to be very key. Anything else that wants to come through? You know, taking the leadership. This is the lead. That's the lead and the explanation of the Oracle deck. And then give me one more. Boundaries. Developing healthy boundaries. Yeah. And make sure that you are emotionally and mentally stable. And it's okay to say no in a situation. So there might be having to say no into something and saying yes to something else. This is quite interesting. I do feel that there's a new beginning, because the shadow side that came out are boundaries and inconsistency. So that might be having something to do with, you know, past memories of things, whether they have been going well or not so well. You're just taking a deep dive into that introspective side of things. Maybe you're dealing with a Virgo. It could be a family member or some, or maybe this is you just going within, which could be the case as well. But with the Star coming out twice, like I said, it just really tells me that there is not only new positive vitality that's moving fast, it's like you recognize something and there's a swift change right after that. So, and with that, like I said, yeah, that Star card is just a spiritual healing that has taken place that's put you on a whole new plane here, Leo. Okay. Let's take a look at what comes through in terms of your career, money, and finance. Okay. Career, money, and finance for Leo. What comes through? Career, money, and finance for Leo. What do we get? What do we get here? Got the Seven of Cups. Wow, the Ten of Cups. No wonder you walked away from that Eight of Cups. I'm going to take the cards as they come out, because they Even if they are in reverse, that's fine, because sometimes the message kind of goes around in a different path and can lead you to a different insight. Okay. Bottom of the deck, Five of Swords. So this is about the Five of Swords is like conflict, tension. Maybe there's some stress about taking action and moving forward and having faith. Okay. Yeah, it's about taking action, moving forward, because the Chariot's in reverse right behind it. Cancer energy. So usually when you get the Chariot in reverse, it's like a lack of direction, no control, and feeling powerless, against some sort of obstacles. Yeah, how interesting. But the interesting thing is you've got the Devil in reverse right behind that, and that tells me that you're overcoming something, you're overcoming some sort of what's the word? Addiction of some sort, a way of thinking. You're kind of reclaiming your power, and you are releasing something old, and you're now getting the freedom that you want. So I don't know if that's something that, in terms of career, money, finances, that you're releasing yourself from some sort of toxicity and the conflict of that, and you're not taking, not having faith in something. Now, again, this might have to do with a mindset, or this could have to do with a particular job. Give me anything else that comes through in your underlying energy. But you've overcome something. It's because you've overcome something that something's not for you anymore. And it was that learning that I think stemmed from our previous spread and what Spirit wanted you to know. If that makes sense, guys. But let's take a look. What do we get? Look at, successful completion. Exactly. That's just a stamp of confirmation here. And it just tells me that you have achieved something. You've had success and fulfillment, and you know where you belong. Like, you know yourself so much better than you ever have before. And it's such a beautiful feeling. And this is why doing that shadow work, is so key to really tap down into your authentic self, and who you are and what you want to represent. Because there's been a learning that has taken place that is affecting your career and money and finance. Okay. Here's a successful completion of overcoming an obstacle. Okay. So, you've got a lot of choices, is what this is saying with the Seven of Cups coming through. Some are illusion, fantasy. This is about getting down to the practicality of things. Like, what does happiness mean to Leo? What does that Ten of Cups mean to you? And that would be a good question to answer, guys, on what this is. What is fulfillment? I feel that a lot of you, it's security and domestic harmony that's happening here. But this is about getting rid of the illusion and getting aligned. And with the Strength card, which is interesting, because you got the Sun card, which is new vitality in the previous spread. But here, there's a sense of vulnerability or self-doubt or lack of confidence. And this is about getting rid of the illusion that you can't have the Ten of Cups. And that is really just focusing in on feeling like you have no control or lack of direction. So we're going to pull a card on this real quick. Why is the Strength card in reverse? Why does Leo feel maybe you don't have lack of direction or control over your career right now? What do we get? Eight of Cups in reverse. So interesting. It's the fear of change. It's avoiding. It's like aimlessly drifting. So we're getting that as a confirmation again. Are you finding some Leos out there? And this is specific for some of you. Are you finding that you're kind of aimlessly, you're not sure which way to go? What else do I get? Seven of Wands. This wants you to stand your ground and hold your boundaries. The Seven of Wands is defending yourself. It is focusing in on competition and perseverance. And what do we get? Towards your Seven of Pentacles to bring in harvest. So a lot of you are feeling lack of direction to bring in the harvest that you want, to get, and that's key. You're trying to get out of fantasy and illusion. What can help you here to get rid of any sort of fantasy and illusion with the Seven of Cups? What do we get? Okay, watch your finances. there's a big change that's happening right now. Wheel of Fortune is coming through. So, and I'm not surprised to see it. It's almost like the world, there's a completion, right? And this almost, which brings in a change. So there's a change. It's coming to fruition. It's a 10 card. Has to do with your money and your coming through here. And morals, values, and beliefs. Okay. And having a new beginning. Some of you are having a new beginning in a new career or a new start. Okay. Whatever it is, you're going to eliminate upfront the toxicity in it as much as you can. Obviously, you know what's best for you, and you don't want to give your power to any reader out there. You make the decision. These are guideposts that can maybe help you start thinking and of what the best decision for you may be. But do not give your power to any reader, guys. I want to make that really apparent. Okay, so that being said, there's a new beginning here. Okay, there's a new beginning. It could be a new thinking about harvest and aimlessly drifting. But I get for some of you, you're overcoming a fantasy and illusion, and you are persevering over something. You've got the Three of Wands in reverse, which is interesting because that's playing small. There's a lack of progress because you're playing small. There's obstacles and delays. You deserve the 10 of Pentacles. You got the 10 of Pentacles here. And it's kind of like you need to step out is what I'm getting here. What else do we get in terms of this Three of Wands? Why is that in reverse? Because it wants you to have a new beginning. You have to start something new that you haven't done before. You have to do something different. This is an adventure. The Fool card is a new beginning. This is a new beginning, originality. This is a free spirit. It's time for you to make some changes in your lack of progress. Now, some of you could have stood back from that previous spread on boundaries and being inconsistent. So it's something about looking at that. But let's take a look. Three of Pentacles. Okay, so now the Three of Pentacles comes through teamwork and collaboration. So it's about a new beginning with teamwork and collaboration. All right. So the Three of Wands in reverse, the lack of progress, delays, and obstacles are because you need to have a new beginning that involves teamwork and collaboration. Okay. What else? Yeah. Remember I said you were at an impasse at the very beginning of my read here? Well, even before this one, at the very beginning, you were at an impasse. And I feel that that's the case. It's kind of like both roads can lead to something beautiful, but it's just a matter of like, what's your choice? Do I want to work harder and keep hitting the mountains, or do I want something that's a little bit more that doesn't have as many of mountainous terrain, hence challenges? So every path is going to have a challenge, but there's one that's a little bit less than the other. And I think, working together with others could be helpful. Okay. Anything else? You feel like you're stuck and you can't move, and you're disappointed. So how do you get your 10 of Pentacles here? Let's get some advice on that for you here. For those of you in career, money, and finance, what do we get? Wheel of Fortune, new beginning. Remember, I was just telling you guys, you got the Fool card here, the Fool card here again, like twice, and you have this completion, and it's kind of like not taking action because of the past, but you have shifted that. And you are focusing on your own values and beliefs. And this is about persevering and letting the universe work with you. When you don't know what to do, sometimes you've got to step back and work with the universe and move as you are inclined to. And because there's opportunities, I just clarified the 10 of Pentacles, and it's a Wheel of Fortune. It is destiny. Good luck is coming through. There's going to be some sort of fate, a big change that changes everything. A fortune, all right? Something comes in. What is this, all right? What do we get? Putting an end to the past and getting clear on something. For some of you, it's reached that point of it's done. I'm ready for this new beginning. I am moving forward on something that I like. And no longer aimlessly drifting. I'm moving forward. I'm getting the clarity of the mind and what? and I'm putting in the work to master it. So here's the consistency, right? So for some of you, it's putting in the work to do this. It's like, I'm putting an end to my old way of being. That's not me now. I am now, I've got rid of this deviled energy and overcome that type of addiction, that type of overcoming any sort of um, oh, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like um, interdependence on others, where you're independent. You've detached. You've had a release, and this is the release you've had for clarity for this new beginning. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. What is the advice you need to know? I'm just going to pull this. The word wants to be written. Some of you might be writing a book, all right? Some of you, it's the words that you speak and your communication that is key in terms of what you do in terms of making money, okay? Others of you, this something needs to be written down, and bringing it into form is what I'm getting. So something needs to be brought into form in some sort of way. There's creativity, and this is finding your life's purpose. Is not difficult. It's like it's within you. It wants to come out at every opportunity. Like, you don't have to struggle so much. It's more about like allowing space for it to manifest and let the energy flow. Because like the universe wants to help you out. Hence the sirens here. Interesting. Okay. This is about that what you are dreaming of or seeking to do or to create or to live or manifest is actually something that's very natural for you. And that's why you want to do it. So it's coming through here. If you've experienced like controlling or manipulative kind of like energies around you were growing, as you were growing up, you would have found it hard to kind of access that natural state. And because I get the 10 of cups and I getting out of illusion. Remember, at that family situation where it kind of talked about that, maybe you could have been too busy trying to adapt and get through the trials of childhood that it was, you couldn't do it. But when you finished navigating your childhood and you started to let go, right? You started to free yourself and let go of the 10 of swords and get the clarity. You have source work with you and on your 10 of pentacles and put in the work, and persevere and reflect and connect with source and be strong. Again, and still focus on, you got a 10 of cups and the 10 of pentacles. Happiness is yours. It's like when you finish navigating your child and you start to let go, who you were taught to be, so you could become who you really are. Some of you found your life path was not, easily accessible because of that. And it's simply because your true nature, Leo, and your natural self was covered up, with early conditioning. That could have been shame, or it could have been, you had to be something other than you were in order to win the love and be acceptable. Okay. But your self hasn't gone anywhere. And you're that natural part of you. So you're lovable, and it's saying, okay, we'll put that in your heart and breathe it in, speak it, write it. All right. If you want to write, sing, dance, or become, whatever that is, it's you. It's natural. Drop your defenses and get into the grit and confront the power of any old shaming that has had over you. And I feel that you've had success over this. Okay. You've had disappointment in the past. You've had the 8 of Swords where you couldn't move, but now's your time to make that change, okay? And it involves some teamwork and collaboration, okay? Be your naked self is really what this is saying, okay? The word wants to be written. What you want to create wants to be created, okay? So that's what I'm getting for you there. Let's take a look. Whoo, that was good. That was good stuff. That was in your, in the cards here, Leo, that was coming out. Now, I hope that resonated with some of you. Note your comments below, guys. Let's take a look at what comes through in love, okay? What comes through in love? What do we have? I'll do a little bit in love because I know we've gone over time. Okay, but that was an area that was important. Spirit says, hey, So this is getting out to celebrate with others with the Three of Cups. So you might meet someone in terms of doing that. This could be friendships, communities, celebrations, or social events. Maybe there's been some obstacles in balancing that, okay? But in love, I think that you're getting the clarity of how to balance things out and move forward passionately now. There was obstacles before because you're trying to balance another's needs with yours. And again, you had to balance yourself out first internally before all of this. But I do get temperance, that it is balancing. So 2 cards of balancing, the Two of Cups and the Temperance energy, which is Sagittarius energy. You got the clarity of how to bring that in, okay? So previously there were some obstacles. Now you're passionately moving forward in love, okay? So anything more for Leo on this? A new beginning. The Fool card comes out. It's a new adventure in love for you. And I feel that you're moving on and putting in the work from the deceit of the thinking in the past. This is deceit of thinking in the past and putting in the work, okay? So then what? Getting the rest that you need, and you're thinking about what that is, what love is for you, and but you are striking that independence, and she doesn't need anyone, but she could want someone, right? But she's stable, secure, and in luxury. It's like for some of you, you're waiting to hit that point right now, okay? And there's a lot of travel, change, and movement that's happening towards the Lovers card, Gemini energy. This is about making a choice. So you're deciding, hey, maybe do I want to be independent, or do I want to be together in a partnership? For some of you, that's the case. Or you're making a choice for right now, this is good, but later on I might want this, okay? It just depends on where you're at, but there's some fast movement coming in where you might have to make a choice of being, focusing in on your luxury here. You can have both in a relationship, but it's like, I think there's some of you want to focus in on this right now, because the Wheel of Fortune is coming in. It's at the bottom of the deck coming in, okay? And it could be a fire sign that is around you, or a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, okay? So I'm going to leave it there. If you're looking for a personal read, guys, click the link in the description box below. Great read for you, Leo, here. Put your comments down. Tell me where you're at and where you're from, and where you have joined us from, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.